You're good.
Good to go. Okay. Good morning, Warhawk Nation. Colonel Schaefer here. Colonel Wilson is out of the office today, so excited to be here to host this edition of Freeform Friday. I'm excited because we're here at IAFA, or Inter-American Air Forces Academy, and you're probably wondering the guests I have with me today. I'm excited to be joined by Colonel Jose Jimenez, the Commandant of the Academy. And I'll kick it over to him to introduce our other guests.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thanks for having me, Colonel Schaefer. I appreciate the opportunity to highlight not only what the wing is doing, but also what the IAFA family is doing. I'm the Commandant, as you mentioned here. I've been here for a few months, and I wanted to also introduce with us today Tech Sergeant Joshua Masas, who's been here with us since for 4 months now. And he's done some great things, but we'll talk about those in a few minutes. But ma'am, over to you.
Awesome, thank you. Well, one of the reasons we wanted to host it at IAFA was to also recognize a pretty significant award that the team was just received. In fact, Air Force Level Award, 2nd year in a row. Jose, could you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So we have a very small team of members here as a flight that supports directly the international students that we have here. That's a monumental task that they take with a lot of passion, love, and hard work. And we've been lucky enough this year for the 2nd year in a row, as the Colonel mentioned, that they won the Air Force Level Award for the large category of this. So incredible, because we're talking about competing against big organizations from across the Air Force. And to have a very small team like the one we have, highlighted for the amazing things they're doing, it just speaks volumes to the type of people, which includes Sergeant Masas here. You know, it's just incredible to be a part of that team that's doing such great work.
Awesome. Well, I know last week we came to you from another location in the wing, the 341st Training Squadron, home of our military working dog mission. And a lot of that was focused on the Herculean efforts that they did to safeguard our mission there, and certainly all the military working dogs. We wanted to kind of continue that thread today and really talk about the amazing things that the team here did to maintain the IAFA mission.
Right, so again, first a big shout out to everyone across the JBSA and the Lackland and the 37th Training Wing community for everything they did. It was a monumental task from leadership all the way down to the lowest ranking members. And that gives me the privilege then to talk a little bit about Sergeant Masas here. On a very short term, and as you guys knew, no driving, very limited communications. We needed people to come back on base and support our students that we have on base. Sergeant Masas, we were lucky enough to be able to make a phone call, and Sergeant Masas quickly stepped up, dropped everything that he had going on, which includes a family as well. He's got a wife and 2 beautiful children. And he came over and he stayed with us for about 4 days here on campus, directly supporting not just the students, but our entire campus, which includes almost 6 large buildings. And I'm going to give Sergeant Masas an opportunity to talk a little bit about that. But before, I want to just talk very briefly. Sergeant Joshua Masas is from Puerto Rico. He came into the U.S. Air Force in 2010, but again, selfishly, I'm very glad that we have him here for the past 4 months. In just this few months, he's made a great impact, and of course, that's why the reason he's here today to highlight him. So, Sargento, over to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. First of all, thank you for having me here today. Yeah, I joined the Air Force in 2010, October 2010. I'm a structural aircraft maintenance. That's my primary AFSC. My first base was a Dallas Air Force Base, Texas, when I worked with the B-1s and the C-130. Then after that, I applied for a special duty position as a aircraft battle damage repair, aircraft structural maintenance technician for the depot team on Warner Robins, Georgia. And I was there for 5 years. I worked with C-5s, C-17s, C-130, and F-15s. I spent a little bit over 5 years, and I was part of the team that performed different TDY tasks around the world. In those 5 years, I logged over 850 days. After that, I decided I want to do something different. That's when I applied to join a IAFA. I applied multiple times, and then finally I was able to get the job. And now my secondary FSC for my second special duty is a 9 Lima as a translator. And I work with the international support section as a lead. Right in that section, we take care of all the students, like all their needs, like once they arrive to the airport, we're their first point of contact with them. We basically make sure that they have their rooms ready, they have their meals, they have all the uniforms they need, and everything if they need any medical attention, like they get injured during sports and stuff, we take care of them, and we take them to their actual appointments. Yeah, I really appreciate the opportunity for having me here today and for letting me be part of this great team and organization.
And if I may, ma'am, I want to add, he's an extremely humble man. And as we keep him very busy with everything he's doing, he's also halfway through a master's degree. So good on you, Sergeant Mazes, and again, thank you for everything you've done, not only last week, but what you've done for our Air Force and here at IAFA. So I appreciate this.
Yeah, thank you so much. Just one example of a number of amazing teammates across our wing, and as Jose's point, across JBSA, that really pulled together. I think community was seen across San Antonio area. And so thank you for everything you've done for that particular effort, but what you're doing here at IAFA every day. I know this was also a big week for IAFA. On Monday, had a special visitor, right?
Right, so in the midst of everything that we had going on last week, our team was working very hard to host our first general officer from a foreign nation. And this was the first visit since COVID, that the COVID pandemic hit us last year. Major General Barrios is the Peruvian air attaché. He works at the embassy in the Peruvian embassy in DC. He took the opportunity to come down and meet our team for a day, but I'll tell you that just that one day was packed with activity and orientations for him. As a critical partner of our national security strategy, it's key for us to bring these general officers here to IAFA to see exactly what it is that we do, that the wing does, and also the Air Force at large. It was a very successful event, and again, I need to highlight my protocol and my public affairs team, who again, during the storm, not only were able to do that from home, but also even came here on Sunday morning to finalize the agenda and other travel plans. Successful, very successful event. Colonel Wilson was part of that discussion. He got a lot of good opportunities to learn from our partners, so we look forward to doing that even more now.
Awesome, thanks, Jose. Yeah, and again, a great opportunity to highlight the unique mission here at IAFA. Again, it's one of the things that we're so proud of in the 37 Training Wing is we are so diverse, right? And so through bringing you here today to talk to some of the folks in person and really highlight that capability, we're just so proud of the teams here. We also this week were able to host Major General Ed Thomas, the Director of Air Force Recruiting Service, to go to our recruiting schoolhouse in the 37th Training Group. Again, a great opportunity to talk about our partnership with the recruiting service and goes all the way through the training pipeline, right? And so it all starts with recruiting. So a great opportunity to host another teammate. Going back to the storm aftermath, we did have a great opportunity to talk to our teammates. This last Wednesday, we had a town hall. It was open primarily to wing members and family, but I would just encourage you, certainly if you're tuning in right now, if you have questions for the team, we will also post a number of those answers to our Facebook page, as well as our wing website. And so keep the questions coming. Obviously those that go to our JBSA teammates, again, our whole focus is just to make sure that our wing members, our family members are getting the information they need. We know that everybody, this week is kind of a great opportunity to thaw. The weather is pretty interesting still today. But if there's still needs out there, we want to make sure that we're helping you address them, we're pointing you in the right direction. One of those things I think we pushed out last week was Air Force Aid Society is offering an opportunity for grants. And so again, more information I think is available on a number of our platforms should you need that. All right, so we wanted to transition a little bit to some other big Air Force activities. Again, knowing that a number of our wing members are probably focused down and in and really kind of getting their homes back together or their house in order, as it were. There's a number of big Air Force events going on this week that we just wanted to draw attention to. Many of you may have seen General Brown's latest message out to airmen, Empowering Airmen, really focused on his action orders. This one focused on bureaucracy. And I know I watched a recent video of his really trying to empower airmen to break through barriers, right? How do we get stuff done? How do we innovate? How do we ask why? And versus just be told, hey, we can't do it because of this policy or whatever. So that's a great piece that's out there. Also going on right now is the Air Force Association's Air Warfare Symposium 21 virtual event. Again, many of you may have recalled we talked about the fall event in September. This one is another virtual platform. In fact, I was there last February, was the last time they held it in person in Florida. And so just a great reminder again how long we've been battling through this challenging environment. But you'll see many of you may have read some stories, a number of articles coming out about what our Air Force senior leaders are talking about, ranging all across the spectrum from diversity and inclusion to information warfare. And so I encourage you to be on the lookout. We'll share a number of these things as they come available. Another great professional development event that's happening right now, the Air Force Academy is holding their National Character and Leadership Symposium. And again, some of those videos won't be available until after the fact, but I really encourage our teams to go out and find them. We'll push some of this stuff to our folks as we can. And lastly, I know our own Journal Webb, who's also engaged in a number of these warfare symposium panels, is hosting a real talk this afternoon on the ATC Facebook page. He's been doing this probably about quarterly. And so it's at 5 o'clock today, so really encourage folks to tune in. And lastly, pending any questions that may have come in from the group, going back to the weather, we had to push a number of events, as everybody can imagine. Next week, we had to roll all of our annual awards events, and so we're really excited to be able to spend several days, Chief Butcher and I are going to spend several days through professional development forums with all of our categories. But then next Friday at 1300, and actually coming back here, IAPA will host our Wing Annual Awards program, and so we will broadcast that over Zoom, so all of our family members can join as they're able. And what a great opportunity to talk about the amazing things that have happened over the last year. No small feats, from COVID to the storm certainly, and then and no better theme than celebrating Fight Through. And so it will be a great event. We encourage you to tune as you're able. And with that, I'll tutor the group to see if we have any questions.
Yes, ma'am. First of all, y'all are getting tons of support this morning. People are really excited to see you, Colonel Jimenez, and the IAFA being supported over here. So it's really nice to have you. One of the big questions that people are asking is BMT back to normal. Do they have water? Do they have heater? And just reassuring people that things are back to normal.
Yeah, thank you for the question. And certainly I think as you probably, if you tuned in last week, heard Colonel Wilson, and a number of the things that we've pushed out over our platforms, our number one priority is the care of our airmen and our families. And so I can encourage you that our folks are back in good facilities. There's still a number of facilities across our wing that we're still working on, but those that maintain our airmen and our trainees certainly are in a good position. And again, I think as Jose mentioned, we could not do this without the support of our JBSA partners. Our civil engineers are just working every day. Every day we get updates. And as we see things, again, I'm sure a number of you are facing some of these challenges in your own homes. As things thaw, right, new problems generate. And so we're continuing to work with them to make sure that all these issues are addressed. A lot of them are going to take time. And so we ask you to be patient, but we will constantly push updates. But to your initial question, Brittany, is yes, all of our trainees, all of our airmen are doing great and in great care.
Awesome. That's all.
Okay. Well, without any other questions, again, I would just thanks Jose and thank you, Sergeant Massas, for joining us. Thank you for hosting us here.
My pleasure.
We look forward to having a big party next week for the annual awards. And thanks for offering the space for it. And thank you all for tuning in. I hope you have a great weekend ahead. It's amazing to think that March is just around the corner, but we look forward to seeing you next week.